might be giving somebody the cold shoulder. Um, or I feel like, okay, so it wasn't really a fully cold shoulder. It was more like a cold embrace. Um, it's almost like someone was trying to come up behind you and kind of really wrap their arms around you and really show you love and support. But it feels cold because I feel like in their love, they're also kind of suffocating you and stifling you in some way. So even though their intention is to just love and support you, in doing so, they hold on so tight that you feel very restricted. That could be a partner, a family member, whoever, but that energy is really strong. There's somebody in your life that you feel like is limiting you. And I do think that you love them. I do think that you care about them. But there's too much restriction within this caring dynamic that is making you, or even the other person, it depends, I think it's you, be kind of repulsed and just turned off. The Ten of Swords with the Seven of Wands is saying that you do need to surrender to constantly trying to defend yourself, and defend your decisions and defend the choices that you make for yourself, because it's bringing a lot of anxiety when we always have to explain why we do what we do, or why we move the way we move. It's just unnecessary. It's a lot of wasted energy. So if people are always, and if this is a lot of people asking you to go out, but you don't have the money to go out, or you're trying to focus on saving money, then you need to, not tell people, oh, I'll let you know, or oh, I'll, whatever. You don't have to explain why you can't because you're anxious about money or worried about money or want to get more rest. Just say like, no, I'm good, not tonight. Maybe another time. I'm gonna sit this one out or whatever. Queen of Pentacles with the Magician is saying that you are being given a lot of power right now to really tap in to your ability again to create wealth and create a new level of stability. I think that you've tapped into some kind of skill that had either been lying dormant or you just haven't been using to your fullest potential. And that's going to, I don't think it's something that you originally wanted to do, or maybe you thought that it just wouldn't come in for you, or you'd have to get rid of this stuff before you get this one. Because the thing about the Four of Cups too is we're so afraid that we're going to lose these 3 cups if we accept this new one. But one, who are we to decide that we need these 3 cups? And 2, who's to say that accepting a new cup will even kick these other cups out? So I think for some of you, you're going to have to put your social life on the back burner, potentially your dating life on the back burner, to put all this other stuff on the forefront. I feel like this is a very specific time for Pisces to prioritize themselves and prioritize their money, their business, their finances, creating a new level of stability for themselves in a way they have not before. And that's going to require them to approach things differently. Okay, so if you normally don't go out at all, you may want to go, show your face. If you always are going out, you may want to stay in the house. But you have to accept some type of newness into your heart and know that there needs to be some type of shift. The Eight of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, saying that, again, there's a lot of energy around you just doing you. Okay, getting your funds up. Yeah, getting your funds up. Potentially you're having to do some type of taking initiative to get more things rolling. If you've just been waiting, putting out applications, or just fielding for interviews, you need to be following up. You need to be letting them know that you have ideas. You know what I mean? That you're what do people always ask for? And what do they always say in interviews? Are you a self-starter? Let people know that you're motivated. And I think the more that you embody that passion, embody that drive, people will see it. But if you have a lot of other stuff that's taking up your mental space, I think it's going to be hard to really do all this. So this isn't necessarily work hard, play hard energy. This is work hard, treat yourself good energy. So that's going to mean, I feel like for you, this is resting. This is living up to your fullest potential. This is working out. This is eating a good meal. This is just caring for yourself, okay? All right, Pisces. I keep getting, it's a little cold where I am today, but, the amount of chills I've gotten since I started your reading is pretty, out of control. So, again, I can't stress enough that I really feel like some of you are going to be dealing with cold shoulders, giving cold shoulders. People feel like you're icing them out. People feeling like you're not communicating with them, or you're not letting them in, or whatever the case may be. For some, you know, and it's gonna, I think all of you will deal with all of that in some capacity, whether it be some of that you're embodying, some of it you're experiencing. You may be having to ice out a family member, but a friend is icing you out, type of thing. If you have Scorpio energy in your chart, I feel you're going to be particularly dealing with that. If you also have a strong relationship with your mother, or your mother is like your best friend, or if you are used to being mothered, if you have like a some of you may have a little bit of a, I don't want to say toctic's not the right word, a little bit of an unhealthy dynamic with your mother, where you expect other people to mother you, not just her, or, you know, you expect some type of extra nurturing in relationships, or your partner is trying to feel like your mother. I feel like this reading is really going to be for you. The overall energy we do have is the Empress, excuse me. And I was looking at the High Priestess here in your headspace, and there's a lot I feel you're keeping to yourself this month, Pisces. I don't necessarily think they're detrimental secrets, but I just think that you have a lot going on that you really don't feel is anybody's business. And I'm not mad at you, but I definitely think that if you're a social Pisces, someone who's out and about, someone that has a lot of friends, or someone who's in a relationship, people are going to be asking you a lot of questions, okay? And they're going to be having a lot of questions about where you're at, what you're doing, why you're not around. And, you know, they're going to need to be patient about whether or not you're ready to come around. And you need to be patient with yourself and be willing to say no. I think saying no is going to be really important this month, okay? Overall energy from the Oracle deck is patience. So this is 7 energy, and 7 energy is necessary transition type of energy to me. We have to be able to take a really sharp turn and kind of change our path, okay? And the Empress is all about value and the way that we nurture ourselves and the way that we, you know, birth things that we desire, okay? And birthing energy means that we need to gestate, right? We can't just create something new overnight. You may have been working on something that is about to come into fruition. Maybe you've been unemployed for 9 months or underemployed for 9 months, or you're coming up in that period. You know, so let's see. If it happened to you in your birthday, right, March, 9 months would be the end of the year, right? So I feel like whatever's happening right now will come to a close by New Year's, by December. But you need to be patient with yourself. And you need to allow things to continue to be fertilized. Okay. For some of you, I think this is career. It's tipping more into career, but this is really about you. Like I can tell right now, this reading is very about how your energy is meshing and intertwining with other people in your life, and how, you know, you're reacting to that or having trouble reacting to that. What you're being asked to leave behind, we have the Hierophant with the rune Love, and the Devil with the rune Success. Some of you, I think, are afraid of not being able to have everything. Like if you have a relationship, but work is not 100%, or work is not 100%, or work is not 100%, but you don't have a relationship, or your relationship's not 100%. There's this idea that you can't have both, and you have to give your attention to one or the other. The Hierophant with the connection of love is also saying too that we don't have to solidify our love in a certain type of way. We don't have to commit to our partner in a way that has been indoctrinated in us. Like this could be like, oh, you've been dating the same person for like 3 years, and people keep asking you when you're going to get married. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, that's not how that works. You know what I mean? I'm not financially ready to, or my partner's not financially ready to. The Devil with Success, I think, is a little bit of a fear of things getting better. Like a little bit, there's a fear of advancement here. And I feel like to an extent, some of you are getting afraid to start something or deepen something before it even fully starts. It's like, let me cut this off at the knees because I don't know if I want to, you know, go in all that hard. I said in the beginning, right, that there may be fear here of living up to your fullest potential, and that's that same kind of energy. Because the Hierophant asks us, what are we committed to, right? What are we willing to pray to? What are we willing to surrender to? What are we willing to follow? Not blindly, but to an extent, right? What are we willing to serve and be in service of? And we can't serve our demons in love, in the sense that some of you may also be wanting to have your cake and eat it too. Not necessarily cheating, but like going out with your friends all the time and drinking and, you know, not ever answering the phone, or your partner does this. And it's like, it's not to say, you know, because the devil energy can be controlling. So you may have committed to a partner who's really controlling, or you may be controlling in a relationship, and you kind of let your, you know, the more human side of you kind of run things. But it seems like you're having trouble really committing to your emotional body, and the fear of committing fully to everything that you're feeling is causing you to really question whether or not you can be successful. And I feel like with the devil here and success, there is this desire to undermine yourself. I feel like this is a little bit of a self-sabotaging energy, and it's because you haven't quite sat into the truth of how valuable you are and what you can bring to the table, okay? Don't sell yourself short. Don't sell your partner short. And, you know, make sure you're giving yourself everything that you need on all fronts, okay? There may be a tendency here to use escapism. Don't feed into that if you can help it. Also, again, if you're dealing with a partner who is kind of very, like, really stuck in their ways of being controlling, or allowing old fears to really run the gamut here, I think it's important to successfully nip that in the bud. Because love isn't just romantic. I feel like with the Hierophant here, this is a fear of just being fully committed to anything that you really, really care about. Like, this can definitely be work as well, because I think that you've been trying to manifest something that really resonates with you for quite some time, okay? The door that's not open that was once closed, we have the Chariot with the Five of Wands. On the Five of Wands, we have the rune Constraint. So, again, if you're in a relationship that there's a lot of fighting and struggle, or if you're having to constantly explain yourself to your family, or there's a lot of people that are kind of asking your motives all the time. What are you doing? What are you doing, Pisces? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? I feel like there's a lot of people tugging at your energy, and it's restricting your ability to move forward. This can also be people that bring up your past, or as much as you try to move forward, they bring up news from 6 months ago, a year ago, 6 years ago, and they're like, remember when you were this person, or remember when you did this, or they just assume you're the same type of person. And I feel like that makes you kind of constantly have to fight your demons, so to speak, or it's like feeling like you're constantly being limited by how people perceive you, when in reality, obviously, we only live up to our own labels, and we only live up to our own masks that we wear, you know, the ones that we choose to wear. Now, if you've been like really struggling to get a new job, or get noticed on the you know, on the job search, I feel like, you know, the competition is kind of stiff, but I feel like some of your pride may be holding you back from either calling, and because you don't want to look like calling and following up, because you don't want to look like you're begging, or you're afraid that you're not really qualified for some jobs, so you're not even applying for them. Like, I would swing for the fences. Honestly, I feel like this is necessary. But any energy that you're investing in struggle or strife, or explaining yourself, or constantly being challenged by people, is absolutely restricting your ability to move your life forward. So we can't make people stop arguing or being argumentative, but we can stop arguing back. So I do think there's a need to not really entertain people who are argumentative. Notice how many figures over here are facing forward too. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, he's kind of facing forward too, but these are they're very particular. They're centered. They're looking straight on. They're sitting down. The Empress is kind of side saddle, but there's a lot of focus on what's right in front of you right now. I think it's really important to focus on what is directly the task at hand, if you will, Pisces. And the Chariot is saying that in order to be successful in a very long-term way, we have to be willing to, one, put the BS aside, and two, make it clear that we're willing to fight for what we want. I don't mean in a relationship. I don't mean that you have to fight for people, especially if the situation is toxic or whatever. I mean with like jobs, or if you really love something, if you're really passionate about something, you have to be willing to put in that work, and not give up. I don't mean this in an ego way where the doors are getting closed and it's not a good environment. I'm talking about when you really, really love something, okay? Your current energy as it relates to all of this, in your head, we have the High Priestess. In your heart, the Sun. And in your foundation, we have the Tower. And on the Tower, we have Strength. So I do think that you're continuing to unearth new ideas about what your strengths are, and again, how valuable you can be to people, to your friends, to your family, to jobs in different career fields. I feel like you're unearthing different parts of yourself, and you're realizing that the way that you've been approaching this, or the way that you've been approaching life, or your own skill set has been somehow, again, undermining. I feel like you're going to realize that you were undermining your own progress in some capacity. And you're also going to see where you've entertained people or situations that also were undermining your progress. Because you're realizing how powerful it is to be changeable, and how powerful it is to not allow everything to stay the same, and to be willing to rebuild. I feel like some of you are having to admit that there was a fault, or there was a fall, or that there was something that crumbled. Because not everyone, like, they may be bringing it up, like, oh, I heard you were doing this, and it fell through, and you were kind of ashamed. You didn't want to tell anybody about it. Now you're owning it, and you see that that's a strength. Because if people don't know you're looking for work and got fired, for example, how can they offer you a new job? You know what I mean? So don't be ashamed that you're unemployed or underemployed. Let people know so that you can rebuild. The Sun in your heart space is saying that you are getting to the core of the fact that your joy has to be primary, okay? And that you deserve to express yourself. And some of you are, I think, seeing illuminated how you feel for the first time in a long time. Some of you may also finally be almost ready. I don't think you're quite ready, but almost ready to voice your emotions in a way that you have not before. But with the High Priestess in your mind, in your mental body, I don't think you're quite yet having this conversation. I do think you're preparing your speech, if you will, and you're preparing to say, you know what, this is what I'm worth. This is what I love. This is what I want to do. This is what makes me feel grounded. Look how similar the colors on these cards are. This is what makes me feel grounded. This is, root chakra. This is what makes me feel passionate and connected and creative, sacral chakra. And this is how I can bring it to you and make your product more valuable, or your life more enriching, or my life more enriching, solar plexus. Okay, so it takes time, patience, to get back into our body and to forgive ourselves and heal. Because that's what we're talking about here. I think that something had transpired where you were just kind of allowing a lot of fear to take the wheel, and allow a lot of your more shadow aspects, which we all have, to kind of run the gamut and do what they're supposed to be doing. Or not what they're supposed to be doing, but doing what they do if we'd let them, go on unchecked. The High Priestess in your headspace is saying that, a lot of people may be looking at you like you're withholding from them. And I'm not talking about lying by omission, because, I'm a Scorpio moon. I don't let that fly. Lying by omission bothers me. But I think that you're saying a lot less, because you're trying to make sure you feel really, really confident about how good you feel and what you really need to get your needs met. And I think that you may be withholding it because it's really going to drop a bomb on other people. I think that the bomb might have gotten dropped by somebody else, but I think that your happiness, The reason you're withholding it is because it's going to kind of fuck up other people's lives in some capacity. Not because what you're doing literally is like hurting them. It's just kind of like a casualty of war type of energy where like sometimes when we choose ourselves, other people are hurt by that because they're not used to it or it doesn't benefit them in some capacity. I don't know. Okay, this just came to me in a really weird way. I don't remember my whole dream from last night. I had dreamed a lot of dreams, but it just started to come back to me and it felt like it was real. Like it felt like I was recalling a memory instead of like a dream exhibition, if you will. So you may be getting things that pop into your psyche that you don't even know if you lived it for real in this dimension, in this timeline, or if they were things that you're remembering from a past life or that are coming in from the dream state. Regardless, herald that information. Hold that information as truth. Hold that information as illumination of how you really feel. Okay? And it's gonna give you insight not only into your own psyche, but to those of around you. Okay? Especially if people that you're quarreling with or having issues with are in the dream. Spirit's advice for you is the Ace of Cups with the Ace of Pentacles. And on the Ace of Pentacles, we have the rune Prosperity. So, again, being open and allowing things to be refreshed will bring you a lot more opportunity. I feel like, again, this is putting pride aside and being open about your needs. I feel like that's priority number one. Be open about your needs and forgive yourself for maybe dropping the ball before or for not seeing all the opportunity that was available to you or for missing an opportunity. Like we can't hold ourselves hostage forever. You know what I'm saying? So let this new energy flow in, but let it be known too, you know, with aces are very amazing opportunities, but they're not grounded. You know what I mean? They're not put into physical form. We have to accept that energy and do something with it. And the way to tap into that is to no longer, you know, choose resistance. Okay? Definitely be willing to open yourself up to possibilities, especially on a physical manner and in a financial manner that you previously thought was a closed door, or that you really loved, but you thought you missed the boat on. You know, that kind of stuff. The most likely outcome moving into November, we have the King of Wands with the rune Healing. And then together we have the Five of Pentacles with the Queen of Cups. So some of you, I don't really feel like this Queen of Cups is you. I feel like you're the King of Wands in this reading because of how you showed up in the beginning. I think this Queen of Cups may be another person, potentially a Scorpio, another Pisces, or it could be a Cancer, but I don't usually get a Cancer for a Queen of Cups. So you may be distancing yourself from a Scorpio or from someone that, you know, really, I don't want to say is playing with your emotions. That's not the case. I think that they're just a lot more emotional than you are right now. Not that you're not emotional. You know what I mean? I mean externally. Like, they're really emotional. And by creating distance between the two of you, you're able to heal and kind of feel more self-empowered. I think that you've been struggling with feeling empowered. I think you've been struggling feeling like you have what it takes to make an amazing life for yourself and to be happy. So you need that ego boost and that healing. And we're talking about good ego, you know? Five of Pentacles also can indicate that you may be having trouble connecting with and bridging that financial gap if you just sit and contemplate, right? Because these are passive energies. If you get too far into your feelings, it will be really difficult for you to get the bag, if you will, okay? So if you are looking to fix your finances, you need to put yourself out there and be on Front Street every day, not letting whatever happened before deter you. Like, here, Pisces is here. Here's my resume. Here's my cover letter. I can start tomorrow. Like, you know what I mean? You're really going to have to put yourself out there. And again, swing for the fences. I think that you are underselling your value. Because whatever had taken the wind out of your sails, I feel like you're getting the chance to, like, let it go. Remember, I do mid-month readings as well as love readings. My love readings run mid-month to mid-month. So those are for a full month. They come together in like a package. You can buy them individually or you can join Siren Gang. All that info is in the description box below. And some people are saying that even though they're subscribed to me, they're not getting notifications that I'm uploading. So hit the bell button to make sure you know when I upload. I started to do oracle readings as well, which if you're a follower of mine on Instagram, you get those first. So again, everything's in the description box. Follow me down there. I see the world through eyes of love and acceptance. All is well in my world. I am loved and accepted exactly as I am right here, right now. So when we come into a childlike state of understanding and a childlike state of bliss, everything is okay. Because even when a child's upset, it's so fleeting because they know that they have the right to express their emotions, get them out, and move on. And that gives them so much more peace of mind. So as you continue to accept that your strength is in allowing things to disintegrate so you may rebuild, I think that you're going to be a lot more lenient and graceful with yourself as well, Pisces. All right? Talk to you soon. Peace.